Ready, set, hut, hut.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sound of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineer. Goes around about the 50, the 10, the 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Von Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth.
It's Mountaineer pride.
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night. They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome back into another live stream here on the Country Roads webcast, July 8th edition, and this is going to be a fun show for me here to go through on some of this stuff. It's going to be a heavy dose of West Virginia College Football 26 video game talk, as we have to talk about the roster that was there on initial release. Not exactly the most accurate for West Virginia. I'm going to go through it and highlight who's missing, where, what future roster updates you can expect to come, and the title update for the game coming soon. And, of course, then we'll go through and highlight some of the player abilities on the game, talk about how we feel about those. And then towards the tail end, we do have some nice news and notes to discuss in regards to the all Big 12 team, and then maybe a little something that could be a little bit more concerning. Maybe you can call it a rumor, but I think it just proves yet again that we have one of the best athletic directors in the country, that his name keeps popping up every time an athletic director job opens up. So we'll talk a little bit about Wren Baker at the tail end as well. So that's what's on the docket for this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in here if you're watching live or if you're watching on the playback here, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Those of you that are on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe here, get access to the pre-recorded videos, podcast episodes, in addition to the live streams here, keeping you up to date on all things West Virginia football. But if you're here on YouTube, whether live or on the playback, hit that thumbs up button. Help us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm, and be sure to throw your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate those interactions as well. So with no further ado, we're going to get set to get into it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the other side of my office. Some of you guys that follow my other YouTube channel, JC CFB, where I cover the college football video game, maybe familiar with that, but that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop over there. I'm going to pull up the West Virginia roster. We're going to go through it, talk about it a little bit on the game, talk about who's missing, and then we'll go through some of the player abilities. That'll be the front portion here of the show. And then, of course, in the back half, we'll get to those West Virginia sports news and notes there on the football side, with the all-conference team being released, and a little bit of Wren Baker talk here before we wrap up. So give me about 30, 60 seconds to pop over to the other side of my office really quickly, and we will get this thing rolling. All right, guys, there we go. So there it is, the West Virginia football ratings and some of the updates that I think will be coming to the roster here once we get into future game updates, which will be coming. Yesterday was just the early release, so those will be coming in the near future. Pardon my dog barking outside if the mic's picking that up. Wife just got home, I do believe. But other than that, we do have a couple of real life football updates to talk about here as well. One of them, I don't necessarily have it in the article pulled up or anything about it, but I'm sure you guys have seen the rumors going around, and I did want to take a second and address, the Wren Baker rumors, with him rumored to be in the running for the Oklahoma athletic director position, potentially as their longtime athletic director, will be retiring soon. Does it worry me a little bit? Yeah, it does. We know Wren Baker has history, in Oklahoma, in that state, obviously coming from there. So that's worrisome. That's kind of like his home stomping grounds, if you will, there in the Midwest. So that worries me a little bit. But I think if you want to look silver lining, West Virginia has one of the best athletic directors in the country. And I've talked about his legacy a lot and how highly I think of him. And I think that, the fact that he continues to come up for different athletic director jobs continues to drive home that point of how really good Wren Baker is. But, also, if he chooses to stay at West Virginia, I think that shows that a couple of things. One, he really believes that we're on the path to righting the ship and winning some big time games and some conference championships potentially in basketball and football. And number two, that he wants to be there and see it through, and that way he can raise his profile and prestige even more, because right now his stock's really high, right? That's why he's in the contention for a lot of these jobs. So he doesn't want to hurt that in any way. So if he chooses to stay at WVU yet again with his name coming up for another blue blood school, another big name program, then I think that yet again shows not only does he like it here and his family like it here, for one, which is great, but I think it also shows his belief in West Virginia, that it's not going to bang his stock to stay here, with the coaches that he's hired, that he's going to ride that out because he believes that the success is going to come and it's only going to make his stock rise even further. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. And I'm just kind of playing it by ear and seeing where it goes and hoping for more positive news like it's been when his name has came up for other athletic director positions in the future. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he just wants to see through these coaching hires that he just now made, with it being the first era, first year of the Ross Hodge era, first year of the Rich Rod 2.0 era. I'm hoping that, he sticks around for a little bit longer, at least. That's the only thing, I've said it from the beginning. He's so good, it's going to be hard to keep Wren Baker long-term, but I hope we're able to keep him for at least a few more years for him to see through these coaching hires. And I'm hoping he will. Maybe it's wishful thinking, and maybe it's just, having, past success with, this happening and him still sticking around. Give me a good gut feeling about it, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's just a rumor and nothing more. I know he will be on the short list. I'm sure they'll want to talk to him, but let's hope he sticks around. That's just kind of my thoughts on that one. So the WVU Dynasty is starting later today, James. I see you there in the chat. It's starting later today over there on the JC CFB channel. Be streaming that WVU Rich Rod Dynasty as it just went through that roster there and shared that screen from that other side of the office. So with that being said, the only other update I want to talk about was a big one. It is a big one, guys. And that is our guy, the one and only Jahiem White, being recognized by the Big 12 Conference. I think I closed the tab. Let me pull it back up here. And rightfully so, guys. Rightfully so. You guys may have seen I did a guest spot on the CGA tour, and we talked about, top players in kind of each position group at the Big 12. And Jahiem White was up there for me at running back when I looked through the list. There's some good running backs in this conference, some good skill players in this conference, but Jahiem White's definitely right up there. And that's why he's recognized on the all Big 12 first team, all conference team here, preseason. Him and Bryson Washington from Baylor, the two running backs there, as you see the Big 12 conference sharing that team there. And so glad to see West Virginia presented. Isn't that nice? And I think it's fitting, of course, a big year coming for Jahiem in this Rich Rod offense. And, of course, West Virginia shared it on their social media as well, highlighting Jahiem White's all Big 12 honor with a little bit of graphic there from WVU Football, who does a great job with those. So wanted to share that. And then lastly, a couple of things here. Number one, check this out if you guys haven't already. The University Media Guide is out, and there are a couple of things. There's a few omissions from the roster, and I think that's because of a waiver process is going on. One of them worries me a little bit because it's Jamoy Robinson, but I think we'll be fine. West Virginia wouldn't have took him, letting him practice and all that if they didn't feel, good about it. I guess, that's kind of the silver lining to look at, but we'll keep an eye on it because it is kind of getting late in the game. I think the other one were Ty Edwards, and I can't remember who the third one was that I didn't see on the roster. And of course, Jeff Weimer still not listed on there either, but we know he's practicing as well. So, there's like 117 players on the West Virginia roster currently, but I think on this roster that's in the football guide, it's like 113. If you go through there on the football guide, which you can click the link and go through, it has a lot of good info. And that's the cover this year. Of course, with Rich Rod's return, we get some of the old school picks with the years beside of them mixed with the new pick of Coach Rod back in Morgantown. So media guide now out. You can find it on West Virginia social media pages, the WVU Football X and WVU Football Facebook pages. And then lastly, the WVU Football social media accounts, liking the release of College Football 26 as well, much like me. And here are some of the screens when you set West Virginia as your favorite team. That's what your home screen looks like. Look at Rich Rod there on the sidelines as he's featured on the game. A little Jahiem action against TCU. And then a little Cole Rush action after Rodney Gallagher scores a touchdown and points at the crowd. Just want to share those. Those are fun. You guys know I'm a big fan of the game. And like I said, if you're a fan of it as well, check me out on my other channel, JC CFB. Be streaming a WVU Dynasty series later today over there, and wanted to update you guys on the West Virginia football roster on that. The initial roster I know is a little bit off, but keep in mind they will do roster updates. I think we'll see a lot of those players that are missing added, and we'll see, so a lot of things change with that roster here as that game moves through its life cycle. So, I'm a big fan of it. If you are too, check me out on that other channel, and we'll have more WVU football topics to talk about on this channel as we get closer and closer to the season. We're getting all conference teams out. We got Big 12 Media Days coming this week. So going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about here, and I'm really excited to continue to do it with you guys. Appreciate you guys that tuned in, whether you watch live or on the playback. Those of you that watch on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over to the CRW YouTube channel, subscribe here, get access to the additional content, not just these live streams. And if you watch here on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, help us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm. And let me get some of y'all's comments before we wrap this one up. Hey, my guy Shane Stadmiller, good to see you as always, bro. Always appreciate you. Hey, what's going on, Kenny? Good to see you. Let's go Mountaineers indeed. Hey, Earth Ether, good to see you, bro. Says he caught a live. I know you're always in the playback. I'm always a spur of the moment kind of live guy. I don't give a lot of notice. Sometimes a lot of people don't catch him, and a lot of people do watch him on the playback, which is fine. Sometimes I got to do it that way, work schedule and such though. And yeah, definitely had to address the Wren rumors, right? It'd be crazy if I came on here and just didn't even address it, right? Because it's kind of the elephant in the room right now. Unfortunately, we know there's been some other big ones, but this one seems a little bit more worrisome just because who it is, being a blue blood, and of course being kind of where he's from. But I definitely, still got faith in Wren, and no matter what, gotta love the guy. I think he's a legend already, in my opinion. But definitely had to address it for sure. Yeah, Ross Hodge was on Three Guys. I've been working my way through that episode, almost done listening to that. Maybe we'll pull out some stuff, some talking points from that in a future stream here when we talk a little bit of basketball as well. But I think he had some really fun stuff to say. Continue to like Ross Hodge as well. And hey, my guy Matthew popping in here as well. Good to see you as always, bro. Appreciate all you guys in there. Always in the live chat. And if you don't get a chance to chat live and you are someone that watches in the playback, as we discussed there a little bit, we can go ahead and you can go ahead and hit the excuse me, what was I saying there? Oh, did I not have the screen shared? Oh, I bet you I didn't push play on the screen, did I? Did I not play the entire stream going through the West Virginia roster? If not, I'm going to have to do this, guys. Hold on. My apologies. See, that's the bad thing. I couldn't see the comments. So let me see if I can run it back here. If not, I can clip it in from Twitch, maybe after the fact. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. Okay, so did you guys not hear me go through the West Virginia roster at all for like the first 30 minutes of the stream? Because if not, I'll play it back here for the final 30 minutes of the stream. We'll just make this a more lengthy one, and I'll try and edit it after the fact. Because I bet you that what I did was I shared the screen and forgot to hit play on the video. And so if so, we can run it back here. Let me go ahead and get it ready if so. Is that what happened? John Water said the stream was off for a while. I'm guessing that's what happened. Okay. So you guys didn't hear. Okay, so I never pushed play on the video. So, well, good thing I at least had it up, and it's in time that we can go back through it really quickly. So, what I'm going to do is this is like 30 minutes long, close to it. But this is what I was doing for those 30 minutes that I forgot to push play on the video, and I'll try and fix it in the editing process. But this was supposed to be at the beginning of the stream. It actually was, but apparently I didn't share the screen. Like I said, first time trying to do it this way, where I was bouncing back and forth between the sides on a live stream, and I thought I had everything just right, but I didn't push the button. So, okay, yeah, it was stuck on the loading screen because I never pushed play. Got it. All right, let me get to where we start here on it. Let me make sure the audio is good too, and then I'll share the screen. Hold on, guys. My bad. See, I wish I had a way to check the comments from the other side. That was the only issue. I guess I could have pulled up the video on YouTube maybe while I was going through it, but let's see here. So, okay. About got it pulled up here. All right, so this will probably be about an extra 20 minutes of the stream for you guys that you're supposed to get at the beginning. No, I was wondering why nobody when I first jumped back in on this side. That makes a lot of sense. All right, so here's what you guys were supposed to see during that first 20 or 30 minutes, and the Rich Rod WVU Dynasty James is today, streaming that today on JCCFB. All right, Mountaineer Nation. So here we go. Fortunately, I don't have the StreamYard pulled up on this side, so I might be able to see your comments right now while I do this, but that's okay. If you guys got any comments in the live chat, I'll get to them here towards the tail end when we get to those other news and notes topics. But let's talk about the West Virginia football roster here on College Football 26 really quickly. So as we look here at quarterback, we're obviously missing a key piece there. No Scotty Fox. You got to expect he's going to be added later. So I'll just go through and tell you who we're missing at each position and let you get a look at each of the positions here. And then we'll go back through and talk about the abilities of all the players here. So quarterback, we're missing Scotty Fox. That's the big one. We're also missing freshman Max Anderson and Scott Keene, who's more of a walk-on player. So, not surprised we're missing him. But I think Scotty Fox is definitely the big omission. And, you'd like to see Max Anderson on the roster as well. And some of these players being left off hurts, in dynasty mode, because at certain positions we have a lot of seniors, and we'll get to talking about that momentarily. Halfback, as you can see, of course, I'm excited about how Jahiem's rated. He could have gave him a 90+, but it's all right. Still pretty good. But you're missing Sincere Bowers. You are missing Clay Ash. You are missing Cannon Katzer. You have Ty Edwards. You have Dewar Hubbard. And then you have these fictional players. And this is kind of my beef with it more so is, why do we have these fictional players on the roster when we have plenty of players to have all our real players on the roster? You'll see multiple fictional guys. I'm hoping that it's maybe just because they were fill-ins in the meantime until they can get some of these real guys on the roster, and they're not going to be there once in these future updates when they add some of these players in. But there are some guys at the running back position that need to be added in a future update. That is Cannon Katzer, Sincere Bowers, Clay Ash, missing at the running back spot. Would love to have Sincere Bowers' speed on the game, right? Especially to go with Jahiem. We don't really use a fullback, so they have Colin McBee playing fullback, even though he's more of like a tight end. All of our types are listed as tight end. Wide receiver, several missing here at receiver, as you see here on the roster. And yet again, we have, a fictional player here with this Isaiah Shelton character. So we do get, several of our transfers on here. We have Bowie, we have McCants, we have Singleton, Hamilton, Cam Vaughn, of course. So, but we are missing, just looking at the roster here, we're missing Logan Ramper. We're missing Justin Smith-Brown. You got to hope both of those are added on the next update. You would think so. Jarrell Williams, which is a weird omission because he was on the game previously. And then Cyrus Trawl is missing. Our freshman Armani Weaver, Tyshawn Dews, and then Cam Pitchford as well, if they want to throw him on there, are missing. So multiple receivers missing for West Virginia, and yet still a fictional player involved there. Tight end spot, we have Grayson Barnes. Then we have our long snappers are listed at the tight end position here, but they did include the long snappers on the roster this year. So McGuire Moss and Caden Seller are long snappers, as we know. We have Greg Generos. We have Ryan Ward. So the only player that they're missing at tight end is Noah Braham. Need Noah Braham added to the roster, either at tight end or fullback. However they want to do that, that'd be good. That's who we're missing there. Let's go offensive line, where this is kind of hard to do here because I have it all grouped together under one thing here on the roster. So both Ogbo and Bosley are on the roster, but we have two fictional players here that are filling in as freshmen. So you got to think we're missing a couple of our regular freshmen, perhaps. We'll see. Or maybe some of our transfers to fill in for that. I think the only offensive linemen that are missing transfer-wise are Malik Ogbo and Donovan Haslam, if I remember correctly. But do have 2 fictional players here. Left guard, we got Cooper Young. We got Walter Youngbear. We got one of the freshmen on there, and Brandon Homedy, of course. Carson Lee made the roster. He's on there. They got him on the game. Him and Landon Livingston. Like I said, that'll be a nice position battle. And Robbie Martin, Josh Isosa's on there at center as well. Aiden Bussell, Kimo Macanioli, Wyatt Minor, and then another fictional player here that's filling in for someone else. And then Tykees Crawford and Nick Cray. So let me look through my offensive line roster. Let me see. We got check. So we're missing Donovan Haslam. We're missing, I think that's the only one. The other ones are just the walk-ons. Well, we're missing the freshmen. So those guys that are on there were, I guess, fill-ins for the freshmen that weren't there yet. Those would be like Philip Bowser and Trevor Bigelow, probably. Those couple, this fictional freshman. But the transfers we're missing is Donovan Haslam and Mikkel Clay. That's the 2 that aren't on the roster yet on the offensive line. That'll be added in a future roster update, hopefully. Defensive end here, we have Jamori, we have Eddie Kelly, both highly rated, which is nice. Adam Tomczyk's on here, Wilnerson Telemock and Brandon Caesar. Curtis Jones Jr., Braden Siders. So what we're missing here, so they're kind of treating right edge as like the bandit. Obviously, as you can see, these are our bandit guys. And we have these 2 players should be, our JUCO transfers. This should be Marshawn Oxley and Keenan Eck. So that's who we're missing right there is Marshawn Oxley and Keenan Eck. Then we go D tackle. We have Hammond Russell. We have Eddie V. We have Asani. We have Corey McIntyre. We have Nate Gabriel. So looking on the defensive line, let me see who are we missing. We're missing Devin Grant. That's a big transfer we need to have on the game. He'll be added in a future update, I'm sure. Missing our JUCO edition, Elijah Simmons. Is that all? I think that's all. No, Taylor Brown, freshman Taylor Brown, and Carter Zuliani as well. Missing those also. So, and then of course we need our 2 JUCO bandits, Marshawn Oxley and Keenan Eck. D tackle. We just talked about the D line there. Let's go Sam. Now, this is one of the bigger omissions or bigger misses because our entire Sam linebacker position on the game right now is 2 fictional players, 2 made-up guys, Will Hoffman and Xander Stone. I got to think that maybe, one of these is supposed to be Ben Bogle. I think maybe Will Hoffman may be supposed to be a fill-in for Ben Bogle, perhaps. I'm not sure. We'll see if he gets added. So let's go through the linebackers here. I'll tell you who's missing at linebacker because these are both fictional players. So obviously we have players missing at linebacker as you would expect. We do have Reed Carrico, Ben Cutter in at the mic, Caden Beiser, fictional player there, filling in for a freshman, another fictional player. We have Chase Wilson, Ashton Woods, and Mike Hasty all did make the game though. So at linebacker, we are missing Ben Bogle, as I mentioned, and we're missing John Lewis, the transfer in from Mississippi State. Another weird omission because it's like he was on the game last year. It's weird to me that we are missing a few players that were on the game last year already. So I got to think they will definitely be added in a future roster update for sure. Then we are missing Cam Torber, our freshman linebacker, which I'm guessing maybe this is supposed to be the fill-in for Cam Torber, perhaps. Maybe he'll take that spot. That's what we're missing at linebacker. Defensive back, and this is where we have one of the biggest gripes that I have is Darren Lewis is listed as a corner. Why is he listed as a corner when he was a safety last year at Akron on the game, and then now you move him to corner here at WVU? I don't understand that necessarily. And the biggest gripe I have, though, with this here on the game for West Virginia is, look, you guys know that in the transfer portal, we added a ton of senior players, a ton of senior defensive backs, right? So on the game, they have all of those, but they don't have any of our young guys. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seniors. You're losing 5 of your corners when you go into dynasty mode, and you don't have any of our young guys on there to fill in those gaps. So those definitely need added in future updates. Because if you look at corner, we're missing Ty Crutcher, who he would be another senior, but he would be one that you could possibly redshirt coming up from West Florida, I believe. But then this is another case of missing someone that was on the game last year. Keyshawn Robinson was on the game last season. Now he's missing. He's a sophomore. Would love to have him on the roster. Nick Taylor, the transfer from App State, another sophomore. He's missing. And then we're missing our 2 freshmen, both really talented players, Kamarius Bomar and Dwayne Galloway. Definitely need those on the roster for the future. And yet again, we have another fictional player here with TJ Wayne. So cornerback is an issue right now on West Virginia's roster. I got to be honest with you. One of the main things I hope gets corrected in a future update. Let's go free safety. Right here, you have Fred Perry, who, he'll kind of be playing that perhaps more of that nickel role in West Virginia's defense. But here they're going to have free safety, and he's the highest rated player on the team besides Jahiem White, absolute monster. KK Tarnew back. We got him there. We got Jordy Walker. We got Jason Cross. So all players that are on our roster, but we are missing a couple of safeties here as we look here. We do have Justin Harrington. We have Jacob Boyce. We have Will Davis. We have Zay Jennings. So we do have, a good bit of our transfers in there, but we're missing Caleb Gray. We are missing Chris Filippo and Julian Horton as well. The other those freshmen there, Chris Filippo and Julian Horton. Which weird to see Filippo not added. He was around for a little bit now. We do have kicker Cade Hensley and Ethan Head. That's our kickoff specialist and our transfer. I think we don't need 4 kickers on the roster. I love Nate Flower, RJ Kokan, but when EA only allows you to have, I think they do 85 player rosters. We might need to sacrifice a kicker or two to get some of these players that are missing on the roster, perhaps. And then Ollie Straw at punter. So we're missing the newest punter. Aiden Stiers at punter. So that's who's missing and what's going to be added in a future roster update. As I pulled that up there, the roster, scroll through that here, and we'll highlight the player abilities here, which you'll see here on the right side of the screen there. So, and then we can hit some of the key attributes right here as well. So Nico has off-platform and pull-down ability on the game. Bronze in both of those. 78 speed, 78 agility, 75 awareness, 90 throw power, 84 short accuracy, 80 mid. Jalen Henderson doesn't have any abilities, but he has him, beat on a good bit by speed. As you can see, that's the good thing about West Virginia's quarterback roster. Although we're missing Scotty Fox, Max Anderson, I'd love to have Scotty Fox in the game. 3 out of the 4 players have good speed, and Nico doesn't have bad speed. That's good enough to run the offense for you. And then you have 90 throw power, 80 and 77. So if you look at the difference, Nico edges out Henderson in passing. So if you're more of a passing guy in the game, you might want to roll with Nico. If you're more of a running guy like me, you might want to roll with Jalen. Nico does have him a little bit on the passing numbers, but they have the same overall there at 76. Max Brown, not far behind with the 74 overall. He has good speed as well with 82. He has 91 throw power. So he actually has a higher throw power, just not as good as accuracy as Nico or Jalen. No abilities for him. And the fastest quarterback of the group, of course, Khalil Wilkins. 87 speed there for Khalil Wilkins, 87 throw power. The archetype is a backfield creator for Nico, dual threat for Jalen Henderson, pure runner for Max Brown, and dual threat for Khalil Wilkins. Halfback. Now we get into the fun stuff here because look at Jahiem White. Gold shifty ability, platinum, which is the best level ability you can get, platinum sidestep, which is great juking, and platinum 360, great spin moves. And you look at some of his attributes: 94 speed, 95 agility, 95 change of direction, 91 spin, 95 juke move, which is the highest juke move rating for any running back on the game. Absolutely a ball to play with Jahiem on this game. So fun, really is. And then Jalen Knighton, no abilities, but 90 speed. So you get, even the fictional running back has 90 speed. Maybe if this becomes Spencer Browers, he gets, 93 plus or something like that on here. We'll have that then. But look at Ty Edwards, 237 and 89 speeds, pretty nice for him. And you have 4 running backs, 80 plus overall, if you count the fictional guy in there. So then Ty Edwards, no abilities, but 89 speed, 82 trucking. That's nice. Dewar Hubbard, no abilities, 88 speed for him, 85 change of direction, 72 overall. Colin McBee, no abilities, 73 overall. Wide receiver Cam Vaughn does have the double dip ability, and I love that he's 83 overall as a sophomore. Really good to work with that. But they just, gypped him a little bit on the speed, man. 88 speed. Come on, Cam Vaughn's got some burners. You got to give him 90 plus at the least. I think he should be 93 plus personally. But that's okay because he does have some really good catching ratings, medium route running, and spectacular catch there. Rodney Gallagher has the 360 ability, silver tier there, and he's able to spin. 89 speed for him, 91 agility. Jaden Bray, no abilities, but 88 speed. Christian Hamilton, the transfer from UNC. I've liked using him. When I someone that's fun as well. We talked about guys that are good to play with on the game. Grayson Barnes can be a beast for you, man. I've only played a couple games with West Virginia thus far, which shameless plug. If you guys see this side of the channel, this is my JC CFB YouTube channel side, and today we are starting a WVU Dynasty series. I'm going to be doing it as Rich Rod, so we can play out the Rich Rod 2.0 era in video game form before we play it out in real life. And if you want to watch that, you can watch it stream for a good bit of time today here on the JC CFB YouTube channel. Check that out. That's JC''S space CFB. Just there, and I just do college football video game content on that channel, and we're going to do a WVU Dynasty series today. But Grayson Barnes, really talented dude. You can see how this was a big transfer get for us. 83 overall, 87 speed at tight end. That's one of the faster tight ends on the game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, look, they have him almost as fast as Cam Vaughn, and he has the 50-50 ability, which means he can go up and make grabs, high point the football. 87 ability, 87 catching, 82 catching traffic. This is our long snapper, McGuire Moss, 73 overall. Our other long snapper, Caden Siller, 71. Jacob Barrick, the transfer in from Jack State, to 72 overall, no abilities. Greg Genross, 69 overall. Good size on him, though. He has 80 speed. And then Ryan Ward, 66 overall. He's only a sophomore and 81 speed. So good speed on, multiple of the West Virginia tight ends here with Genross, Ward, and Barnes. Left tackle, Malik Ogbo has screen enforcer. He's 78 overall. No abilities for Bosley. He's 75. That's a fictional player. Second level ability for Walter Youngbear, who's 81 overall. Workhorse ability for Cooper Young, 70 overall sophomore. Carson Lee, workhorse ability as well, 79 overall. Landon Livingston has outside shield and option shield. So, good ratings there for him as well, 76 overall junior. Nice little position battle. I'm looking forward to that one. Aiden Bussell has pocket shield and second level abilities, 78 overall. No abilities for chemo, but 76 overall for him. So you look here on the offensive line, Walter Youngbear, the highest overall. I think no surprise there. He's been raved about since we landed him. Right tackle, Tykees Crawford has a workhorse ability, 76 overall. Nick Cray, no abilities, but they have him listed as a 72 overall freshman. I think that they've got, that's another thing that EA is going to probably update on some of these rosters. If you look, they have some of the class wrong on some of these players as well, because actually, I think Nick Cray, let me look on my roster, redshirt sophomore, Nick Cray is. So some of the years are off here as well as we go through. You've got to keep that in mind too. So multiple updates will be coming here. EA will do a title update soon, and they'll definitely update this roster. But Jamori Robinson, what a beast, dude, on this game. Him and Ellie Kelly, you can start them both on your D-line if you want. I've been starting Jamori Robinson at Sam linebacker just because they don't have his weight gain on here. He's up to like almost 290, I think. And also we have these fictional players at Sam linebacker, and I just hate playing fictional players. But Jamori's so good, dude. Workhorse, pocket disruptor, takedown, and duress, 80 speed, 82 strength, 89 power moves, 89 acceleration, absolute beast. Eddie Kelly, no abilities, but 84 overall is really nice there. 87 strength for him as well. Adam Tomczyk, 70 overall, JUCO pickup. Wilnerson Telemock, one of our freshmen, 69 overall. And then Brandon Caesar, 69 overall as well. Right edge, which is, like I said, this is kind of what they're using as our bandit spot. Curtis Jones, standing out there with the 78 overall and 83 speed. No abilities for him, but very nice, especially as a sophomore. That's someone that'll progress well for you in Dynasty. Braden Siders, 77 overall, right there with them. And then we're hopefully going to get Marshawn Oxley and Keaton Eck in the future here at this position. D-tackle, Hammond Russell leads the way with the 80 overall. No abilities, but Eddie V has the takedown ability, 77 overall. Asani Redwood, 76 overall, no abilities. Corey McIntyre, 72 overall, sophomore. His overall, I think, will shoot up throughout the season. He's going to be a stud. 72 overall, Nate Gabriel as well. Sam linebackers, the fictional players, we're not worried about those. Mike linebacker, Reed Carrico has the takedown ability. He's 81 overall and 85 speed. That's what I love about Reed Carrico on this game. Great. He can really play, coverage. He can do everything you need him to do. Ben Cutter, 73 overall, no abilities. Caden Beiser, 71 overall, no abilities. Then a fictional player. Chase Wilson, 80 overall. I think they gypped Chase Wilson just a little bit on his speed. Got him at 78 speed. Does have good acceleration with the 85. No abilities, but 80 overall. So you got two 80-plus overall, senior linebackers with Wilson and Carrico. No surprise. Those are expected to be our two starters there this season. Ashton Woods, the UNC transfer, 68 overall, but he's only a freshman, and 82 speed. You can work with that. Mike Hasty, 65 overall. Corner, this is where it's nice, man. Michael Coates is a dog as we expected, right? West Virginia paid a lot of money to, get him and steal him away from the SEC, keep him from going on that visit to Ole Miss, and he's rated properly on the game. 85 overall, 90 speed. He has ball hawk ability, knockout, burner, and house call. He'll get you some pick sixes. And you look here at some of his look at his coverage. 76 man coverage. I think that should be higher, but still 90 zone coverage, 90 speed, 77 press. And then how about Jordy Scruggs, man? Jordy Scruggs, they even gave a higher overall than Coates. I was surprised by, but hey, I'll take it. 85 and 86 corner, both with 90 plus speed. No abilities for Scruggs, but he is an impact player on the game. He's 87 zone coverage, 77 man. Darian Lewis, like I said, they have him listed at corner. No abilities, but 80 overall, 89 speed for him. Derek Carter, the Jack State transfer, 79 overall with 91 speed. Devontae Golden Nelson has the quick jump ability. He's 77 overall, 90 speed. So you do have good overalls and speed on your corner. I just hate that they have all the senior, 5 seniors and none of our young players on the game. It's going to make it tough in Dynasty. You're really going to have to recruit the cornerback position, which I'll find out later today when I start that WVU Dynasty on the JC CFB channel. Jason Chambers, the App State transfer, no abilities, but 76 overall. Then we got a fictional player. Free safety, like we talked about. Look at Fred Perry. 3 physical abilities. He has platinum blow up, so that really rewards his hard hitting ability that we know he has, as does his silver hammer and bronze aftershock. Then he has 3 mental abilities, which are adrenaline, instinct, and legion. Platinum instinct. So we're talking about Fred Perry being one of the best safeties on the game. 89 hit power, 89 speed for Fred Perry with 93 acceleration. KK Tarnu, good ratings as well. 83 overall, 87 speed, has the blow up ability, 82 zone coverage. Jordy Walker, 75 overall. Jason Cross, 69 overall. They have him as a freshman. I think he's a redshirt freshman or a sophomore, one of the two. But he's 91 speed. He usually progresses well in Dynasty, especially with that 91 speed down the line. Justin Harrington, I love that he got an 81 overall and 93 speed. One of the faster players on West Virginia's roster, actually, Justin Harrington. We're hoping him to come back into form like he was when he was at Oklahoma. And if he does, he could be a star. Jacob Boyce got a good rating, especially being a sophomore. He'll be a good player to progress in Dynasty. 77 overall, 91 speed sophomore for him. And then Will Davis, going to be rated a little bit higher in my opinion, but 75 overall, 84 speed. Gypped him on his speed. Zay Jennings, they always gyp him on his rating too. He's at least in the 70s, should be, I think, in my opinion. But he's young. 68 overall, sophomore, 88 speed. You saw the kickers. Hensley's 76 overall. He has 88 kick power, 85 accuracy. Ethan Head's 85 kick power, 70 accuracy, 71 overall. Ollie Straw has coffin corner ability and field flip ability, 90 power, 92 accuracy. So there's the roster for West Virginia, and there are some of the updates that I think will be needed here in the future for the Mountaineers. And I think you'll see some of those players that we mentioned that were missing added in the future, and probably some ratings updated once we get into the season as well, and some of these guys start showing out. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to flip back over to the other side of the office here and wrap up with you on the CRW side there, and we'll talk those little news updates with the all-conference team and a little bit of Wren Baker here before we close out. All right, there we go. So that's what you guys were supposed to hear at the beginning of the stream there, but at least you get to hear it now. Some of the West Virginia, as I still got it on and playing in my earphone there. I just heard myself come through there. That messed with me there for a second as well. But nonetheless, better late than never. We get to it. The West Virginia ratings in college football 26, some of the abilities there, and definitely some of the updates that are needed that'll be coming down the line for sure for the Mountaineers, I'm sure, in the future roster updates there for the game. So there it is, guys. Now we can wrap this one up and get up out of here. Appreciate you guys that stuck with me throughout this one. Like I said, hit the like button before you head out. Help us with that YouTube algorithm. Share this video around on your social media pages. Help us continue to grow the CRW community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Thank you to you guys that listen on the audio side as well. Appreciate that. You can tune into that on any podcast platform you like, and you can leave us a rating there to help us out. With that being said, be back to chat with you guys again in the near future. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.